From Neural Newscast, this is Buzz, tracking what's trending and why it matters.
What is actually moving the timeline on this massive Monday? I am Lila Grant.
And I'm Jonah Klein. You're listening to Buzz, where we decode the digital noise.
It is a heavy day for the history books, Jonah. We are seeing two absolute pillars of the old order world trending for very different reasons.
It is rare to see a day where the leader of a major global power and the literal architect of the modern financial system are both the main characters on X.
Let us dive straight into the big one. Alan Greenspan, the legendary former head of the Federal Reserve, has passed away at the age of 100.
A full century, Lila. NBC News was among the first to break the news of his death. It is hard to overstate just how much this man influenced the world we live in today.
He was the face of the United States economy for almost 2 decades. He served under 4 different presidents: Reagan, Bush Sr., Clinton, and George W. Bush.
On X, the term Maestro is everywhere right now. That was his nickname for the longest time because he seemed to have this almost supernatural ability to keep the economy humming with low inflation and steady growth.
NPR noted that he was the longest-serving chair in the Fed's history, but what is interesting is the internet discourse is not purely celebratory. People are really digging into the nuance of his legacy.
That is the thing about a century-long life, Lila. You live long enough to see your policies go through several cycles of praise and criticism. While he was hailed as a genius in the 90s, the conversation on the timeline today is also looking back at his role in deregulation.
The Greenspan put and the lead up to the 2008 financial crisis come up often. CBS News pointed out that while he was a titan, his philosophy on free markets faced massive scrutiny after he retired in 2006.
It's a masterclass in how we remember public figures. On one side, you have the financial historians calling him the greatest central banker ever. And on the other, you have younger generations on X trying to connect the dots between his interest rate moves and the housing bubble.
It's that internet culture lens. We don't just take the obituary at face value. We look at the ripple effects. But reaching 100, that is an era ending in the most literal sense. He saw the world change from the gold standard to digital currency. Speaking of massive shifts, we have to talk about what's happening across the pond. Yes, because while the United States is reflecting on its economic past, the UK is currently in the middle of a political meltdown. Keir Starmer has officially resigned as prime minister. This feels like it happened in fast forward. According to CBS News, Starmer stepped down following extreme pressure from within his own Labour Party. It's a total earthquake for British politics. The New York Times is reporting that the pressure really centered around the rise of Andy Burnham. There has been this brewing tension for months, and it finally boiled over.
The phrase special election is trending heavily on X right now. It feels like the British public is strapped into a roller coaster that just will not stop. Starmer was supposed to be the stable choice, the one who brought order back to Labour.
The internet does not value stable if it feels like stagnant. That seems to be the vibe in the comments. People are comparing this to the rapid-fire succession of PMs we saw a couple of years ago.
Lila, it is wild because Andy Burnham is being framed as this alternative who might actually move the needle. The New York Times piece mentions that Burnham has been a focal point for those who felt Starmer was being too cautious.
The speed of this resignation is what is catching everyone off guard. One minute he is in Downing Street, the next he is announcing a transition. It is making the UK political scene look incredibly volatile.
It really highlights the power of internal party optics. If you lose the support of your key figures, like Burnham, your days are numbered, no matter how big your majority was.
Exactly. We have the death of a centenarian who shaped the global economy and the resignation of a leader who could not hold his party together. It is a day of endings on the timeline. It's interesting to see how the DevOps community is even chiming in. Usually that is a pretty technical corner of X, but they are using the term to describe the infrastructure of government failing.
a bit of a stretch maybe, but people love a tech metaphor.
If it helps people process the chaos, why not? But really, the focus is on these two men. One who spent a century building a legacy, and one who could not make it past the internal pressure of a single term.
It really puts the stakes in perspective. Whether it's interest rates or internal party voting, the consequences are massive for millions of people. And we're seeing that play out in real time in the replies and the threads.
The internet does not sleep on days like this. From Greenspan's legacy to Starmer's exit, the conversation is fast, it is loud, and it is definitely not ending anytime soon.
It's just getting started. Especially with a special election looming in the UK, we will be watching that Andy Burnham narrative very closely.
Absolutely. That is a wrap on our roundup of the big signals cutting through the noise today.
Make sure to stay tuned as we track how these stories evolve over the next few hours.
I am Lila Grant.
And I am Jonah Klein. This has been Buzz.
Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com. Explore the latest at buzz.neuralnewscast.com.
This has been Buzz on Neural Newscast, tracking what's trending and why it matters.